Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
It is 7:07 now on O'Connor and Company. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your morning routine. Hopefully our show isn't very routine today. We got a lot of dynamics going on here. Coming up at 8:05, Steve Malloy, formerly of the Trump EPA team there, talk about a big move yesterday from Lee Zeldin, deciding that carbon dioxide, that stuff you breathe out, the stuff that feeds plants around the planet, you know.
Yes.
Part of the whole photosynthesis process. It's not a pollutant. That's shocking, I know. We'll get into that. I'm Larry O'Connor. That's Julie Gunlock. And joining us now is a friend of the program and a neighbor to WMAL. Lives right down the street-ish. President of Judicial Watch, the one and only Tom Fitton. Yeah, that's right. I just let people know where you live, Tom.
Yeah, thanks for doxing me.
Well, I mean, it narrows it down to the entire northwest of the District of Columbia, yeah. Or maybe up
when me and the fam show up at your house, you know why.
No, they already have. Tom, obviously at Judicial Watch, you guys are the kings of trying to get transparency in our government and getting some documents that the feds don't want us to see. And I know that you're even hitting roadblocks with the Justice Department here under President Trump and Pam Bondi, which is frustrating. But you did get quite a bit of a treasure trove here from Homeland Security, and this has to do with the Biden administration's communications regarding Tim Walz and the Chinese Communist Party. What exactly did the Biden administration know about Tim Walz here that the rest of us should have known, as he was almost one heartbeat away from the White House?
Oh, it's a series of chat messages or text messages or communications with or in Department of Homeland Security offices about the intelligence issues related and national security issues related to Walz's connections to the Chinese. At one point, one of the analysts or individuals says that China is happy. They see his announcement as being vice presidential nominee as something that was perfectly in line, feeds into what, quote, the PRC has been doing here with him. It's seriously a line of the intel, targets someone who is perceived they can get to D.C. They said the public doesn't really have an understanding of the strategic impact. It's more of a strategic impact than obviously the general public knows. They talk about getting the FBI involved, classified briefings on the issue. It's an extraordinary release of information by Secretary Noem, and obviously we sued for it, but they didn't have to give it to us. And it's about as important as information as you've been seeing in terms of the leaks, not leaks, but the disclosures you've had, declassification by Tulsi and the rest.
Tulsi Gabbard, yeah, and I want to ask you about that because you were one of the people really trying to get to the bottom of the Russiagate conspiracy when it was happening, not after the fact. But one of these communiques from a Homeland Security official is incredible. Let me read it to you. Walz got the VP. You all have no idea how this feeds into what the People's Republic of China has been doing here with him and local government. It's seriously a line of the intel. Target someone who is perceived they can get to D.C. And again, this is a Homeland Security official during the Biden administration saying this. And in light of what we're learning about the Russian collusion hoax, I got to ask, Tom, the narrative during the investigation of the Trump campaign was that somehow Trump, it was a lie, but Trump was Putin's puppet and then Putin had groomed him to be the president, which was a lie, and they triggered a whole investigation and FISA warrants and everything to try to get to the bottom of that. Here, this seems to be very real intelligence about what China has been doing, grooming Tim Walz. And based on this document, was there any action taken?
Against Walz? It was clear there was an intelligence operation monitoring what was happening here in the United States. The FBI was involved with this information, including let's see, the perception narrative has been pushed with one of the local NGOs, had direct ties to the former gov here in Nevada. So there's a governor in Nevada who was implicated. FBI has a lead on a couple of things, the only issue being it being in the Ninth Circuit. So they were investigating Chinese activities out there west, whether it involved Walz directly or not. It's unclear. But what's not unclear is that the FBI, they endeavored to bring them into this issue about Walz and the Chinese. And I don't know. I think it's kind of big news that the intelligence community, in part at least, noted the Chinese had a special interest in Walz, and he was the vice presidential nominee for one of the two major parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Tom,
better intelligence than they had on Trump and Russia, as you know.
That's right.
Tom, one of the lines in this that was revealed is in the this sort of group chat was a participant. I think the name was redacted. It says, "I think this conversation is foiable." Do you worry about that? Do you worry about sort of, not being able to find additional information on this because they're once they realize that Tom Fitton can get this information or it will be released? What was your reaction to seeing that comment?
Yeah, I mean, to the degree this was declassified information, maybe they didn't have to worry about it because it was classified initially. Everything that's classified is potentially foiable as well.
Yeah.
So the initial response I would have to that, if they get a warning that this is foiable, they go to what do they call is the high side, right, which is the intelligence communications. But all of that can be potentially declassified, even though it's a barrier to get done. That's a challenge with all communications. It's the government. The government employees now know Judicial Watch and others are out there. Does it stop them from communicating? No, because they still have to communicate.
We're speaking with Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch, and this is a remarkable story. I suggest you take a look at it. You can find it over at the Judicial Watch website, judicialwatch.org. China is happy, say the emails about Tim Walz being nominated for vice president. Tom, you mentioned the recent declassification from Tulsi Gabbard, and also we're anticipating one from the CIA soon, having to do with what the Obama administration and Obama himself knew about the Russian collusion hoax and when he knew it. And it sure looks like his fingerprints are all over this thing. Is there anything now missing? What else are you looking for to sort of fill in the blanks about what Comey, Clapper, and Brennan did, and what kind of criminal charges do you think are applicable at this point?
Oh, well, they still haven't looked at all of Clinton's emails.
That's right.
Louise. That came out. They still have a lot of data they haven't reviewed about, for example, whether and how Obama's emails were compromised. And it seems to me that the Justice Department obviously is going to review all of this for potential criminal activity. Am I confident there's going to be as much done as people want? I don't think so. And that's why I keep on suggesting the president appoint a special counsel directly and have them report to him, because the Justice Department and the FBI, in essence, and this is no criticism of Bondi or Cash, it's just an acknowledgement there's a conflict of interest institutionally.
Yeah.
So should the FBI investigate the FBI? The Justice Department investigate the Justice Department? I think not in these circumstances. They don't have enough people to do even independent investigation internally that would be sufficient, and that's why the president should bring outsiders in.
Maybe Joe DeGenevo would come out of retirement and head that.
Yeah, there are all sorts of good people he could hire that would get the work done, and Cash and Pam can focus on releasing Epstein records and fighting the judicial insurrection.
Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch. Always a great conversation, sir. Keep up the great work.
You too. Thank you, guys.